you both doing today?
Good. Good. Well, hang on. Wait, do we really want to discuss this? He's been sickly. My friend has been working very hard under extreme conditions. He's got the flu. I don't know why I'm crazy enough to be sitting next to him.
No, I don't have to. Well, the thing is, it's like if you have the flu, you're not contagious anymore.
Okay, good.
If you get sick, you're not. That's what my doctor said.
So let's ask the question: did you get the flu shot?
No, but I mean, I'm from Holland. I don't need a flu shot.
No, he just gets
like
the flu. Right.
Exactly.
We just get the flu. We just deal with it.
He's got the flu. He's trying to finish a movie. I'm trying to get out of this town. I'm doing sort of what you used to do. I'm going on the road. I'm touring. I'm giving up on this movie stuff for a while. You know, so
You're gonna like it.
Apparently, I'm going to like it.
I want to start by saying Man of Steel is one of my favorite soundtracks of the last number of years.
I think the last 3 years.
At least the last 3 years. but honestly, I've listened to it so much. I think it's a masterpiece. I just love it. And so I'm just curious for you, that soundtrack is so awesome. For both of you, how daunting was it to bite off this movie, which, I mean, it's the first time Batman and Superman are going to be in a movie together. It's unbelievable.
Well, look, for me it was doubly daunting because I've already done 11 years of Christian Bale and Chris Nolan Batman. And it was sort of, this word keeps resonating in my head. I didn't want to betray what I did in that time. You know, I didn't want to go and belittle it or say, oh, this is all different, you know, forget about that, let's just start again in a sort of a casual way. So I was taking it really seriously, which is really where he came in, because we worked very well together on Man of Steel. And I think, you know, here we are, two tough guys. But when you actually say to us, go and write some music, we become pretty fragile. You know, as art, I don't know, would you agree with this assessment?
No.
That it is very good to have somebody who you, in the privacy of your own paranoia, can go to and say, what do you think? You know, is it shit or, you know?
Yeah, we both go through the same process every time, and I've had that when I was an artist or when I did remixes, and now with films. It's like when you sit behind the piano and you need to come up with something. Right. You look at the piano knowing that all the masterworks ever written by every classical composer started at that same keyboard. I know. It's very daunting. It's like, okay, now what? You know,
they've used up all the notes already. Yeah, it's a weird thing being a film composer. I think it just gets harder. I mean, everybody keeps saying, you know, the perception is, because I've done a lot of movies, that I should know what I'm doing. But you know, it's not a repetitive type of job. You're supposed to come up with something fresh and something new. You know,
and that's what you're saying. Like, that's why for me, when I switched from being the electronic artist to film composing, it was this whole new world that opened, and it was fresh. When you ask me now, like, oh, Tom, can you please do a dance record again? I'm just like, no, can't do that anymore.
Yeah. No, so yeah, we're treating this a little bit like a psychoanalysis session, of course. And I hope that's all right with you.
Yeah, you can send the invoice when we're done.
Yeah. But we'll tell you anything. We'll speak the truth. So no, but originally my plan, my dastardly plan, you know, was that, and this is really the truth, this really is the truth, that, oh yeah, it's going to be easy. I got that Superman theme, right, and I'm going to make my friend Tom here write the new Batman theme. And then I think, you know, if I really look back on it, I couldn't entirely let go. Couldn't entirely let go. So we had to do it together, you know, because I had an idea. I sat there for 8 weeks playing with 2 notes, with 2 chords. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I sat there for 8 weeks, you know, until he came in and said, you know, oh no, try this, or this is okay. So it's not whose hands are on the keyboard sometimes that write the thing. It's the forces in the room. Because when we went to our first meeting with Zach, and he showed us, what was that thing he showed us?
He called it the cocktail piece or something, because it was supposed to be played for the investors at a cocktail party. Like
okay. And it was like 20 minutes of the most extraordinary, overwhelming, brilliant, beautiful, for the first time anybody managed to really make a comic book come to life type of footage. And then he was going, and then this happens, and then that, and then there's the sequel, and then this ties into... And you looked really... you looked normal. So either you were acting really well... Well, I
think I was acting well, but we were both like...
Oh my God. Yeah. So it was a bit of an oh my... You know, it was an oh my God all the way along.
Yeah.
Well, if I could just ask a quick question about the Batman theme specifically for this film. For you, obviously, being so involved in the Batman part of it, talk about the pressure of trying to come up with, or the design of a Batman score when you're sitting next to the guy who has just done it for a number of years and done it really well.
Well, I think first off, it's what Hans said. Like we tackled it together, and I would say, like, at a certain point you were focusing more on the emotional part, and I was focusing more on what his action language was. But nevertheless, Zach said it better during that first meeting that we had, and he was explaining how he dealt with that pressure, and he was saying, listen, you know, these superheroes are bigger than all of us, and it goes back, if you will, to Greek mythology. You know, the half-gods. For thousands of years, people are fascinated by powers that normal people have that other people don't have, and that makes them half-gods or gods. And this is a legacy that goes back 76 years now, Batman. And
there'll be more.
And there'll be more. Like in 100 years, that character is going to get a new something else. So the only thing we can do, and that's what Zach said in that particular viewing. He said, "I just have to make this my own. I have to make Man of Steel, Batman. I need to seep it in, embrace it fully, and just do the best I can. What he feels that needs to be done for that film. Musically, you know, it's exactly the same thing. It would be." I think actually it would be a disgrace if you would look back what has been done like 20 years ago, or what Hans has done. It's like, okay, let's take that and just continue. Just do something else you feel is the best at that specific point.
Right. But you, actually, hang on, you asked an interesting question which you didn't quite answer. So I'm going to ask you. We worked together for so long. It's not daunting to, you know... No, but that's not it. You know, because I mean, I can't even remember what it was on, but on something, you know, I'm trying to like eke out some. I got this idea for a riff on the guitar. It was a different movie, you know, and it's not sounding very good. And Junkie's just going, here, give me that. I'm like, oh, you play guitar, you know, and he just lays into it, you know. So there's always, you know, we've always had that. You know, we're both good at different things. You know, and I think that's really important, and we don't feel like we need to fight for a little island that we protect our own. No.
It's like a welcoming experience.
Right.
Oh, you have a good idea? Oh, great.
Yeah.
Let's listen to that.
For each of you, during the composing of this movie, is there a day or two that you'll always remember, like a memorable moment from this whole process?
Yeah, I have one. I have a really. Okay, I'm going to go into some detail here. I was trying to write the Wonder Woman theme, or motif, or whatever you want to call it, and I was heading down like a certain path, which you know, I was sort of recycling old ideas. You know, oh, it should be a voice, it should be whatever it was. You know, and I realized that, you know, that we'd done that. So I was sort of trying to hunt down this idea, and I finally figured out. An idea with a friend of mine, Tina Guro. She is like Wonder Woman. She plays electric cello, and she's very polite and very well put together, and she has very polite conversation. And then she takes that cello, and all hell breaks loose. And it's like the cello for her is like this, like a sword or something like this. This is an amazing thing. So I got this sound out of her, which was truly terrifying. And sort of brilliant, but I didn't actually know how to put it to picture. And Tom here was going, well, just put up this scene and just put it right here, which was a place I would never have dared to put it. And we put it there, and all of us in the room went, "Oh no, that's really great." And I was going, he's a good filmmaker. So it's those sort of things. And then when we played it to Zach and Debbie, I remember that moment because they didn't see it coming. And that was sort of part of the cool thing. They didn't see it coming. And we played that bit, and I think the only way to describe it, they were sort of in shock. Like, oh, we didn't see that coming, and really excited about it. Because that's sort of what you want to do. You want to go and, and that was, again, that is, I loved that he was smarter than me. Yeah.
But I remember another moment, which was a really great moment, how you approach things. It's like, for starters, I thought the concept you came up with for Superman in the previous movie was really, really, really awesome. Which is like,
I'm going to back that up too.
It's like this simple kid with these amazing powers from Kansas, brought up by this wonderful woman and husband, and the idea of this Kansas old beaten up piano, a very, very simple Americana theme at heart. And I think we both had that when we saw the preview and the music editors had used some of the old score, like how beautiful the old score worked towards the new picture. Now, what was a very...
I thought it worked better in the new movie.
Well, what was a really interesting moment for me is that there's a scene in the movie where it's a full-on action scene, and I won't describe what's going on. And there was actually music there that we scored, and so at a certain point you said, no, this is not working. And you said to Zach, you need to take all the sound effects out, you need to take all the noise out, and we just need to have that very soft piano there. And it changed the scene around, and it's at a very pivotal point in the movie too. So that's a moment that.
But that's really how we work. It's a dialogue. You're describing. Making a movie is sort of an impossible task. And so the only way you can do it is by truly being collegial, by truly being collaborative, and truly sitting around my room like a band with the director, and and we're not talking about the music, we're always talking about the movie, and we're always on story, and we're always trying to protect each other, and that's the important thing. We're all trying to protect Zach, and Zach is trying to protect us and make the best movie possible, and ultimately what we're trying to do is protect Batman and Superman, because weirdly they might be that strong, but one wrong note can really hurt them. More than kryptonite.
More than kryptonite.
I am very curious. Zach, Warner Brothers has come out and said that there's a quote-unquote ultimate cut coming for home video that's rated R. I don't know what the differences are. I think Zach has talked about it. I'm trying to steer clear of anything. But I am curious how much more music that you guys created might be in that other version.
Is that half an hour sex scene back in?
Yeah, absolutely. No, because the way we work anyway is when we start working, we don't really write to picture. We write long pieces. So there's always vast amounts of music left over. So there wasn't a shortage of music.
No.
He could have added another half an hour and we would have been fine. There's this longer version, considerably longer version. That look, it's as simple as that. We have to go and do a PG-13 movie.
Sure.
And then we still have this other movie that we love. So why can't we do both?
The advantage of home video.
Right, exactly.
When did you guys actually finish making this movie, soundtrack, the whole thing?
Good point. I don't know.
Like late November?
I think you're Yeah, I think so.
Something.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it was, something like that. And then it carried on. Melissa Muick, our music editor, carried on working on the longer version until about a week ago.
I'm so excited for both versions, I can't even tell you. For both of you, though, what has it been like? Both of you seem like you're in the middle of getting to work on these really cool projects. Do you still pinch yourself over what you get to work on, or has it sort of become like you know what I mean? Like once you're in the center of doing things so often, working with these great filmmakers, how much do you sort of take it for granted, and how much is it like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm working again with Nolan, or I can't believe I'm getting to do Mad Max, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all pretty new and fresh, and I don't have to pinch myself; it goes naturally. And you wake up in the morning or late at night, you drink a glass of wine, and then it just sets in. And I especially feel that with social media nowadays, when you throw out a tweet and you say something about Mad Max or Deadpool or Batman versus Superman, and then there's like 400 or 500 responses the next day when you wake up, and you realize what an incredible impact a movie like that has on people around the world. And I find it pretty. I found myself very blessed, to be in a privileged situation to work with all these great creative people, and to be able to work with Hans. It's really awesome.
I mean, look, quite honestly, there's a little moment right at the beginning where you go, ooh, this is really exciting, and then comes the moment where you go, how am I going to do it? There's instantly the it's just how I'm built. It's not like I'm a pessimist, but I just I tremble before the task. I think there is a great responsibility that comes with each one of these, and if you just take the amount of time we say, oh, wasn't that great fun, and take the word fun out and replace it with the word work, you get a little closer to the truth. Because, really honestly, I mean, we do take it incredibly seriously. Our hours are ridiculous. We never have a weekend off. But this is not me complaining. I'm saying it's exciting and it's fulfilling, but it's not a job. It's full on, and you want to do the best you possibly can for everybody involved, and the main thing is you want to do the best you possibly can for the audience, and if there's anybody I really write for, it's the audience. Well, I write for myself, and then I have to be happy with it. It's like, my throwing themes into the bin because I don't like them is, it's a pretty full bin, But at the end of the day, there comes a point always in the process where I really remember that our task is that people who've worked hard, life isn't easy out there anymore. It's never been easy. And if we can give them 2 hours worth of an experience, that's something worthwhile. That's a life well lived. So I'm very conscious of that. I'm very conscious of it. I try not to take any shortcuts.
And if you're built the same way that we are built, that same strain is put on the fact whether you do an alternative movie and they just have a crate of beer for you to do it, or it's Batman versus Superman. The same energy, the same passion, the same frustration, the same fear, if you can come up with the insecurity, goes for both movies.
You guys, my last question for you. You guys do seem like you might get along a little bit, seem very respectful of each other. What are the chances that you guys could be working with Zach again on some 2-part movie that he might be working on?
You never know.
You never know. Look, none of us ever know. None of us ever know. We're musical gypsies, and if we have a great idea, we have a great idea. If we don't have a great idea, we tell everybody. But we do like working together. That's the thing.
But also taking a movie at the time is a very, very healthy approach, because the the pressure is so insane if you talk about 10,
Sure.
15 years of work potentially. Let's just focus on this movie because
Yeah.
you can have the best ideas in the world,
Right.
but if something happens tomorrow, that's it's gonna change everything. So
I mean, to you, the Chris Nolan Batman trilogy is 3 movies. To me, it's been 11 years of my life, and that's a chunk of life.
Sure.
And you can't. You have to sort of be respectful of your own life in a funny sort of way. So you can't, you just have to be a little bit careful about those things. That you really have the stamina to do it, that you have the ideas. I mean, look, here's the thing. We haven't run out of ideas, and we keep coming up with new and wacky ways of dealing with these subjects.
yeah, if anything I have, and that's the luxurious position of insanity that I'm in, is like, I wake up every day with 100 ideas, and then pretty soon after that, the frustration kicks in. I can only execute 2, and I have to pick 2.
Right. Yeah, no. Yeah, that is always the problem. The problem is time. The problem is time because what I hear, I'm sure you're the same way. What I hear in my head, and then actually trying to, because one of the things which I think makes us different from most other composers is we use so much electronics, and it actually means you have to make each note. You have to craft the instrument virtually for each note, and it takes time, and it takes some ingenuity, and very often it's not quite right, and you hear the sound in your head, and you're just trying to hunt the sound down, and you're running out of time, and the only way you make up for it is by not sleeping. So it's like days and days of not sleeping as you're hunting down the perfect sound.
And I got to tell you, it shows. I got to go over there. You have so many more interviews.
Okay.
I want to say thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And I really mean this. Man of Steel is such a fucking awesome soundtrack. I cannot wait to hear this once I've seen the film, which I refuse to. Let me hit stop.